Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I'm back with another video here. And then today, game one for me of all of the coverage from the 2022 World Juniors and the summer version of the World Juniors this year, as it was obviously postponed in December until now. Still in Edmonton. The only change for the Flyers and the players that were in this tournament is that Tyson Forster was added to Team Canada. So that was the only difference for the Flyers and their prospects being in the tournament. Now, the other thing, you still have the same three, prospects that were in it from before. You have Elliot Desnoyers for Canada, Forster being added to Canada as well. So those two for Team Canada, Emil Andrae for Team Sweden, and Brian Zanetti for Switzerland. Now, this game that I'm talking about today was here on the second day of the World Juniors of the prelim games. Sweden taking on Switzerland, and Sweden would actually win this game 3-2. In a game that was, if anyone got a chance to watch it, I thought it was a very good game. It was slow in the beginning, but back and forth towards the end, and I think the biggest story of this game was special teams and the power play for Switzerland, because they couldn't really get anything going. They actually went 0 for 5 on the power play today. Sweden just did not have their A game. I'll talk about that in a minute. But as for the two Flyers prospects in this one, Emil Andrae and Brian Zanetti, Andrae was listed as the third pair defenseman, but played first pair, and Zanetti was on the first pair for Switzerland. In this game, Andrae had 2 shots on net. He finished with 24 minutes and 58 seconds of total ice time, so pretty much 25 minutes there for Andrae. Plus 2 had 34 shifts. Zanetti had 1 shot on net, 14 minutes, 25 seconds of total on ice time. He was -1. He was out there for a goal. Also he was out there for I believe 2 goals. And he originally had a secondary assist on Switzerland's first goal, but that was taken away, and he had 25 shifts in this game as well. So again, I thought both defensemen played well in this game. Andrae, I think it was pretty clear the way that he can move the puck up the ice, and how poised he is. And I put a couple clips out on Twitter of just the way that he's able to move the puck up the ice, and he's so smooth with it, and he's very poised. And as for Zanetti, he's very similar in that role. He had probably less ice time in this game because of him, being on the first pair, but also not really playing power play, so that kind of took a lot of it out of the game for him. He wasn't really on the ice because he doesn't play power play. But again, as for the first period, again, pretty slow. Andrae had a nice chance early on to set up and a nice pass actually to set up a chance. Him and Zanetti both started, and then Zanetti, he actually got clipped up high by his own stick. It was kind of like that follow through kind of play that you see sometimes where the other Swedish player went in with him just on a puck battle 1-on-1, and he ended up lifting the stick. And Zanetti actually caught his own stick right up at his face. He fought on. He was okay. He did do the interview first intermission. Talk about that. I'll get to that in a minute, though. Again, really wasn't much going on. It was pretty much just a feeling out process. It was the first game for both of these teams. Andrae had a nice breakup pass. Pretty smart play there, and that was the play that I tweeted where, again, he just absorbed the hit, but still able to get the puck out of the zone on the backhand. He was really active so far. He joined the rush for a 2-on-1. They need a nice breakup pass for Sweden's best chance of the game so far, and they definitely had control, but Switzerland started to get some more shots toward the end of it. Again, back and forth game. There's only 6 shots. They were 4-2 Switzerland. They ended up getting a power play here. Andrae was on the first unit of the penalty kill, second unit of the power play for Sweden. Again, wasn't really much going on for them on that power play. Everything was pretty much getting stopped at the blue line, and that was pretty much the issue they had until later in the third period when they had the 5-minute power play. They really couldn't get anything going on the power play for the most part throughout most of this first period. Zanetti had a point shot on net. He was looking for a tip in front, and that led to a delay of game penalty. So they ended up getting a power play. Andrae had a nice clear on this one. And then Switzerland would go on another power play, their third. And again, just not a good period for Sweden. They had delay of game and 2 offensive zone penalties up until this point. And that's not what you want to do in the first game against a team like Switzerland that you probably should beat, right? And not even just beat, but at least be able to take control of the game. But again, that was the biggest thing with this game was Switzerland. This is already their third power play. The first couldn't really get anything going, and if they do, this game ends up being 3-2, and they end up making it a little closer towards the end. But this is the real kick in this one, is that you were at least, had a chance to kind of come back and to, at least keep yourself in the game, maybe get the first goal. But outside of that, they just could not get anything going. End of one, pretty good period. And again, Zanetti did the first intermission interview. He talked about that they needed to be better on the power play, needed more traffic and shots, and he said he was okay taking the stick up high. So second period starts. Again, second period was kind of slow. It took a little bit. Sweden definitely was playing better as the period was getting on. They got more shots, more traffic towards the net. Andrae, he held on to the puck early, almost set up a goal. It was a pretty close. It was close, but again, a nice play there. The Swiss almost scored on a rush chance. They had a couple chances, and both teams were kind of trading chances early on. Andrae, again, it was an offensive zone draw, and the one thing I really do like about Andrae is that he gets himself involved, and he doesn't force it. If it's there, he'll take it, but if not, if he pinches, he at least recovers and can get back, but he doesn't do it all the time, and he does it on plays when he knows that he can kind of get up the ice, and this was kind of one of them. Again, offensive zone draw, the puck just kind of went right out to the wall, and he was able to kind of just step in and take the shot. I believe it ended up deflecting all the way out of the zone. But Zanetti ended up trying for a quick breakup pass, but actually got deflected back into Switzerland's zone. It would have been a nice play if it connected, because it was just one of them kind of quick up kind of plays, but he couldn't really get anything going. Zanetti then had another breakout pass after that. It didn't really turn into anything, though. It was a nice, good stretch pass. Then the Swiss would get another power play. That was their third offensive zone penalty for Sweden. They just were not playing well on the discipline side of the puck. Andrae had a nice clear. He sent it all the way down. Switzerland ended up hitting the post. That was their best power play chance up until the 5-minute major power play that they had later in the game. Zanetti, he had a couple plays where he was just after the whistle, kind of giving a couple cross checks. The guys were into the game. Again, it kind of was the feeling out process still. It wasn't really like nobody really had much momentum. But again, towards the end of the period, Sweden ended up gets the first goal of the game. Shot from the point ends up getting deflected. Edmondson was kind of holding onto it, and Torgerson just kind of threw it to the net on the backhand, ended up deflecting in with around 2 minutes or so left. So they get that goal. And again, that was a big goal because, again, Switzerland 0 for 4 in the power play. You're going into a game where, both teams are kind of playing with fire a little bit because it's like, Sweden not playing great, can still be kind of in this thing. And then Switzerland, they had all them chances on the power play, but they couldn't really get anything going. So essentially, whoever really was going to score the first goal, I kind of felt was going to win this game, and that ended up happening. And again, Sweden played much better. Third period starts, 2 goals in 10 seconds for Sweden. And this is where you think it's going to open up, and it's going to just be kind of, like a 5-0, 6-0 final. So Torgerson will get his second of the game on kind of a squeaky backhander from the side of the net. And then Rosine would end up scoring on short side, pretty much right off that ensuing face-off. So again, 2 goals in the opening 34 seconds, 2 goals in the 10 seconds there. And Andrae ended up having a really nice pinch after that led to a point shot that went high. One of the Swiss players ended up trying to go one-on-one on Andrae, and he just had none of it. He took him right off the puck, ended up going to the wall. And that's the one thing, too. He's feisty, but he's small, but he also can... he's able to use the body, and I actually put this out on Twitter too. He reminds me, it kind of, watching him reminds me of Cam York in his sophomore year at Michigan. And I know it's a little bit, York is obviously, not really in the NHL. He's, I think he will be an NHL player, but as of right now, it's very similar because York was able to, again, absorb kind of hits like that, move the puck up the ice efficiently. He wasn't really afraid to join the play. Could play power play, could play penalty kill. Again, a little similar in certain aspects of skill, but not really the same player. And obviously, he's smaller. Andrae is smaller than York, but that was one thing that really, came to my mind was kind of similar to watching York in college. Sweden would actually get a power play here. Andrae was on the second unit, and again, he made one of those really nice plays where it was kind of just like 3 Sweden players, the guy in the bumper on the wall and then Andrae at the point, and they're all kind of just trying to, get the puck out from the scrum. And Andrae just held onto it for an extra second and just fed it right to the guy in the middle. And what that did was just open up the ice for Sweden, and then they started whipping the puck around. They didn't get any quality chance or really any, scoring chance. I believe the shot actually got blocked. But again, that's the area that Andrae's very good at, is that he's able to kind of use that extra second and make the better play instead of just kind of chucking it in just like an area just with a bunch of legs and shin pads. He was able to just take that extra second and just throw it right out. The Swiss would actually end up getting 2 goals here right after that. So Biasca would make it 3-1 off a quick shot that ended up going through his arm, low blocker side. Zanetti was on the ice. Again, he was credited with a secondary assist, but on the stat sheet, it did get taken away. And then again, 2 goals in a minute. Allensbach, he scored right from the slot. Really nice. It was a really nice shot. He actually was Jesper Wallstedt was screened in front. So it's 3-2, and you're thinking, okay, they might be able to get it to tie this up. And around that time, there's around 10, 11 minutes left. So it's a good amount of game left. Zanetti ended up having a shot on net from the point, led to a big hit and a penalty. So again, like I said, that 5-minute major, Switzerland power play, Sweden, and just a really, really bad penalty. It was a bad hit by Niederbach, and just bad, just discipline and defensively. And this is where the power plays earlier come into effect, right? Because you have the chances earlier. They just could not get anything going, and they actually had their best power play here. They were moving the puck around, had a couple chances in front. They ended up taking a penalty on interference for 1-4 with 3 minutes 31 seconds left, and they just couldn't really get much going towards an end after that. But if you're Switzerland and for Brian Zanetti in Switzerland, you got to be happy, to an extent, because you had a chance to take the lead and to actually win this game. If you were at least able to capitalize on the power play, at least maybe get some offense going in the beginning 40 minutes. But if you're Sweden, look, you're happy you came away with the win, but they got to be better than that, and I'm sure they will be. I thought Andrae had a really good game, Zanetti as well. But again, for both teams, it's more the feeling out process still. Again, still the first game of the tournament for both teams. But again, I thought Andrae had a really good game. Again, you see the poise with him. You see the way he moves the puck. Zanetti, I think it's more of, from what I understand, it's similar to, he's more of that like kind of puck moving, like two-way defenseman type guy that he's able to kind of read the play. I think he still can grow and mature and things like that. But again, I thought he had a pretty solid game as well for the ice time he had. But again, Andrae, I think, was just very, very good in this game. And but again, again, like I said, like both teams, there's certain things you can take out of it, and there's certain things you want to be better at. But for Switzerland, I think from scoring only 5 goals last year to scoring 2 in the first game, I think they got to feel pretty good about that. It's just offense was going to be the main thing for them this tournament. But again, let me know what you guys thought below on these two players and the game here for the Flyers prospects. I will be doing a video tonight. I do have work in a little bit, so I will be doing a video tonight. I have the Canada versus Latvia game recorded. That's recording for 6 o'clock Eastern, and that'll be and that video will be posted tonight when I do that for Forster and I will be doing the whole tournament, just might be different times and things like that, so you might see a video the next morning or something like that because I can't really fit it in with my work schedule. But again, let me know what you guys think below. Thank you all so much for the support, and I will talk to you all again soon.